Hello and welcome back to Tomahawk Fab Works. Well, as I said in my last installment, most likely going to get a new distributor stem, and I have. So let's get into this and compare it to the last one and see what the features are. I went to Butler Performance's website where I got the IMI starter from, figuring that if they carry a distributor on their website for their engines that they work on and build, it should be a good piece of equipment. So that's what I did. And they carry a few types, and so I picked this one out. This is from a company called TSP, Top Street Performance. Did a little background looking. They're based in California. Butler Performance carries several models of this for different applications. They have a ready-to-run distributor that looks like my old one, the old MALLORY, but it's don't have no features on it. It's got vacuum advance, but it's not adjustable. You know, there's this basically a stock appearing, stock operating distributor stem, but it's got, you know, the electronic pickup in it. So what's in the box? So this is what you get. I picked out the Ready to Run Pro Series, which you get a distributor cap that has HEI style male connectors on the distributor cap. It has a fully adjustable vacuum advance. You can see the little plus and minus and the arrows on there. You stick a little, I'll get to these right here in a second, but they give you an Allen wrench. You stick that down in there and you turn this back and forth, and you can adjust how much vacuum you're pulling to tune the car. And it has a mechanical advance in the inside too. Show you that. One other feature, let's see. Okay, yeah, one other feature that I kind of like that's different from the MALLORY is it has the screwdriver. You stick it in and push and turn, and the little hooks on the bottom hold the cap on. Seemed to be easier for me to, or anybody else I suppose, to work on instead of trying to reach in there in a hot engine when you're fumbling around with those clips, unlike the MALLORY here. So I don't know, I think it's better. Everybody's got an opinion, right? So let's get the cap off and take a look at the inside. Okay, so we got the cap off, and inside you find the round type rotor. Pretty heavy duty plastic, can't complain there. Distributor seems solidly made with a matte finish on it. Blue seems to be a popular color. Butler Performance can't get that anymore, so I picked black. That's everybody's preference. I think they have red available, so pick what you want if you decide to get it. So here you go. Here's a vacuum chamber, right? And it's connected to the advance plate, and there is a press-on washer of some type holding that in place. Seems solid. And here's a mechanical advance device. The distributor comes with 3 sets of springs. The instructions say that it comes installed with the heavy-duty black springs, but that's not the case here. It's got the lightest springs in it, which are the silver ones here. I'll get to that stuff in a minute. Also, here's the module for the magnetic pickup. Seems more to, there's a lot more to this device than the one that's in the MALLORY that I have. Hoping that's a good thing. Maybe there is a heat sink device connected to all this extra moldings. Maybe that's what that's for. Don't really know. Maybe somebody mentioned in the comments what that might be all be for. Before I made the video, you know, I looked it over, and the one thing I don't like straight off is, you know, I mean, these weights, if you look, they're kind of sloppy and wobbly on there, right? And so let me get the camera on the tripod, and I can use two hands to simulate with this thing. Okay, so here we are. So as I said, the weights carry it out, provide your vacuum advance, or not your vacuum advance, but your mechanical advance, right? But I noticed that they wobble quite a bit on the pins, and as you can see right here, if they're wobbling, I don't know if this will ever happen, right? But you can see that these 2 points right here, the counterbalances, if that's what they're called, if this is flying around inside of there at several hundred RPMs or 1,000 RPMs, and you suddenly decelerate, you know, it looks like maybe these might overlap each other, like so. And what if those get stuck? Now you mash it again, maybe these will work, maybe they won't. So, I don't know. Can this be corrected? Maybe so. I could try taking them off here real quick, just to see if I can do something about that. Okay, so I finally got it off. It only took another 2 minutes or so. So there's a little bushing that helps hold it down, right? And off comes the weight. I guess it would be really, I don't know, it don't look too bad. I guess it'd really be something to get that hole really precise. Maybe I'm worrying about nothing, right? I don't know. So get this so it's like on there. Yeah, so I'm guessing that if this little bushing right here was just like a little taller, put that on there like so, and the spring itself would kind of hold it down a little more. I don't know, maybe I'm worrying about nothing. What do you got down here? Does that come off too? No, that's just part of it. I don't know if that's welded on or screwed on from the back. None of this comes apart, so there's no way to tell. But there you go. A little look-see at that. So put the weight back on. Put the bushing back on, and I think these springs are a little light for the first startup. So, because you can see how easy it is for, you know, the centrifugal force just to swing this advance weight out and just, you know, go to full mechanical advance right off the bat. I don't know if that's something I want or not, but that being said, it comes with a hardware set. These are it comes with 3 sets of springs, and these are the 2 silver ones that it comes with, right? And it also comes with a set of heavy-duty black ones, and these are the medium gold-colored ones. I know it's hard to see in the video, but they are gold-colored, sort of. Also, something I'm going to be looking into, it comes with 3 colored bushings, a black, a silver, and a gold. These get installed on the plate somewhere. It shows in the instructions how it's done. take a look at that in a second. If you want your advance to stop at a certain point before it hits the stops, right? So it gives you that option. It also comes with what looks like a spark plug wire hold down device that goes on top of the distributor cap like so. Two little standoffs fit on the top there. Okay, so they don't go down all the way, but they go in those holes. Comes with a couple of screws, right? Hold them down. If you choose not to have vacuum advance, you can, of course, pop that out, undo the screws, and pull that out. And they provide a vacuum block-off plate. And I suppose that that little tab boss there fits in this semicircle to hold it in place, right? And that's about the size of it, right? There are two screws that come with it right here. I'm not sure what those are for. Maybe that's got something to do with installing the bushings. I haven't really looked that close into it yet. I'll get to the instructions part 2 here in a second. Also, it comes with a wiring harness, which I think is high quality. It is a modern waterproof type connector with the little green gasket. And there's also, on the Pro Series, you get a separate wire that is a tachometer connection. On the regular one you don't, I'm pretty sure. And they also include another piece of gray wire with a couple of connections so that you can custom make that the way you want it. As far as instructions go, when you get it out of the box, this is what you get. You get a piece of paper with a simple diagram, right? Pretty simple. Another feature about this distributor, it does not require, the instructions say this type of a distributor does not require a ballast resistor anymore. And that there's a warning, it's not compatible with stock points distributor coil. Must use a high output coil, like so, something 40,000 volts and up. So choose whatever brand you want and go with that. It shows in the diagram an E-type, but at the website of Butler Performance, when you order this, or you're even looking at it on the internet, there are links to a PDF that you can download off the internet, right off the site, and a more extensive instructions here for the beginner. Like, here's a set of instructions for installing the stop bushings for the mechanical advance. There's also parts included in the box, which I've already shown. And there's also instructions here for locking out the centrifugal advance. Something here about, where's that at? Okay, so here it is. It's in the instructions down here. Locking out the mechanical advance is not necessary for normal operation. This is necessary for some aftermarket fuel systems. Confirm with the manufacturer of the fuel management system to confirm. So that's what that's for. On the last couple of pages of the downloadable instructions are 3 diagrams of wiring schematics for a E-type coil. Real simple. Here's a canister type, and here is a wiring diagram for a 6AL box, which I've come to find out might be something like ignition box, so that you can set timing curves, I suppose, and like an RPM limiter cutoff, that kind of thing. So that's just about it in a nutshell. Also, so this is like, yeah, this is part of the hardware that comes with it. Is like the 2 screws for the spark plug hold down. You know, the 3 sets of springs, and it don't come in like this little box. It comes in this little bag. This is from some other project I was working on, and I just decided to put those in there. Before I end the video, I'm going to go ahead and install the 2 gold medium-sized springs. Okay, the bushing's back on there. And I put my picks away. There we go. Alright, so now I gotta be careful to put this on so I don't lose that and it goes flying across the garage into infinity. So make sure it catches the groove. Yeah, that's a lot easier. It seemed like the loops on the other springs are a little bit bigger, so it makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, I guess you got to open the loop up a little bit to get it up and around the pin. Just a little bit there. There it goes. Flip it over the top. Here's the other gold one. Yep, there's definitely a difference. All right. To get in there. Yeah. I'll show you here something I was just looking at. Get in here close. All right. So the gap out, the sloppiness of the weights I was talking about, right? So I was just curious here for a second, and you can actually take, okay, so you can take the pick and just like the tip thickness of this and actually get it in there and lift up on that, and at least a millimeter or more of spit. So I was wondering about the gap. Okay, let's do this one again. For the weights. That seemed sloppy, right? So I took the tip, the tip of the pick. If the camera will cooperate and focus, like it was a second ago, damn it. And you can take it, if I can get in close. All right. Well, let's see if we can get it to cooperate. So yeah, if I can get it to cooperate, there we go. So you can get the tip of there and lift it up, and it looks like at least a millimeter or 2 of a gap, right? So I'm thinking if I can find some teeny tiny washers that I can slip underneath that bushing, that might make up the gap and push this down a little bit, and you know, make this a more defined fit to keep those on there. Okay, so there you go. Short video. Hope I put out some good information about this new distributor I bought. Maybe it'll help you make a decision about what you might want to put in your car later on. So please like, subscribe, and share. And after I get this in and get the car running in some sort of order, I've got more fun and games to deal with. Check it out. So I was going to just start up the Silverado, because I start it up every now and again, you know, just to start, keep things lubricated, I suppose, and the battery charged up. So I fired it up, and I'm walking by it to get in the garage, and there's oil just blowing out of this thing, right? So I cut it off and did some investigation. I don't know if the camera will see it or not, but let's take a look here. So I looked like under the hood first and couldn't see nothing there, so I'm coming up front because it was kind of shooting out from here, right, on the bumper, and you can see that's the oil cooler, and you see that wet spot. So the oil cooler's bad, and so I gotta take the front of the truck off, you know, all this stuff, and I gotta put a new oil cooler on it now. I'm kind of glad it happened like now, because of course, you know, I mean, can you imagine like getting the car done and putting the frame on the truck, and you go out on the road and like 5 miles later this thing just blows and the engine seizes or who knows what. Man, the hits just keep on coming. So yeah, the hits just keep on coming. This is what it's like when you got older vehicles, you know. This is something I didn't think that was going to happen, because I thought that might have been made out of aluminum or not, something like that, but it looks like it's made out of steel and they painted it. So there you go. Hopefully I can find another one or some other type of oil cooler and mount it in there and have it be a done deal. Hope your life's going better than mine right now. Have a good one. I'm out.